So today we're going to talk about the Colorful event, a new event in World of Warships where we're going to see some new premium ships that are essentially clones of tech tree ships. That's pretty much it. But before we get into what these ships are and how the event works, why don't we take a little look about monetization in video games? I promise this is relevant, and maybe is an ominous way to start this video based on where this event is going to be going. I don't think it's a very big stretch to say mobile games are easily the most profitable form of games and really entertainment in the world these days. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to leave some sources linked below. We're going to have a few snippets of some videos in that. But mobile games are insanely profitable and very predatory on the player base. And it isn't really much of a surprise that it's really the way all of gaming is heading, is into monetization practices that have been pioneered really by mobile games. Free-to-play games on the PC and honestly consoles everywhere are starting to incorporate these tactics. They have been for a while. So to start with, let's take a look at a short clip from a mobile game dev conference, well, over 6 years ago now. And yes, the title of this video is Let's Go Whaling.
The best way to make sure of both your retention and your monetization is to make sure you have enough of an in-game economy in there. The 1,000 up there is actually clearly lowballing it. Top grossing games have in-game economies worth tens of thousands. That's how you can keep people in there. They have lots of things to do, stuff to upgrade, to progress along, and that's how you can make them spend a lot as well. Since you can, for instance, give a huge discount on something. You know, this stuff is worth 150 euros, but now I'll give it to you for 5. If your whole in-game economy is worth less than 150, you cannot do that, of course.
There's certainly much more detail to be found in the full lengths of this conference and the other videos that I'm going to be showing you here. Again, linked in the description below. But the main point I want you to get out of this is raising the market cap almost of the in-game economy here and allowing for players to think, hey, this is fine, it's on sale, or it's not as bad as it was before. And it's really important to keep that in mind. It's a really, really key point of the way mobile games develop their economy and are so profitable. The key seems to be not having any limit to the amount of money you can spend on the game. There should never, ever be a point where the player has everything and has purchased everything. And I think you can start to see the parallels in World of Warships over the last few years. And later in this video, we're certainly going to talk about that a little bit more. But first, we need to discuss how to part players from their money. It's pretty difficult to get people to spend thousands of dollars on a game, or at least it should be. How do you do that? Well, you have ways of obscuring the actual amount of money being spent. Typically through several conversion layers of multiple currencies to actually get the in-game item you wanted. There typically won't be a fixed price on that item. There will be several RNG rolls to actually get that item or the currencies for that item. And through those rolls and transitions between different currencies, the actual monetary value gets obscured. And once you've already put that money in, there's a whole sunk cost fallacy the instant that you've already spent money and got part of the way there in those in-game currencies, incentivizing you to go all the way. So let's take a look at a great recent example of a mobile game that is making an obscene amount of money through these tactics.
We need to understand how the other currency systems work because the crests feed into almost everything else. So we need to take a look at the very foundation of the monetization system for context. Now, the game itself is a tangled web of interwoven systems which all relate to each other, and it's designed that way to hide the actual monetary cost of any single system. Because of this spiderweb design, it's very difficult to find a starting point, so hold on, because this might get complicated while I break it down. I have so far experienced in Diablo Immortal 22 different currencies and raw materials used to feed into various shops and upgrade systems. They are Gold, dropped from enemies, used in upgrading equipment. Eternal Orbs, premium buyable currency, used for buying things in the shop. Platinum, used in the market board for posting and buying items player to player, bought with Eternal Orbs. Battle Points, used to progress the Battle Pass and earn the Battle Pass rewards, earned by completing rifts, dungeons, or bought directly with Eternal Orbs.
So there's a lot of different currencies here, and this is going to go on for a little bit. Diablo Immortal is a very extreme example, and obviously World of Warships is not this bad yet. I think it's really important to understand how game devs are looking at the monetization practices at the most successful games, revenue-wise. Of course, the whole idea in business is to make money, and let's be honest, who's making decisions at the end of the day when it comes to these game development studios? Is it the creative developers who are building out the ideas and concepts behind the video game? Or is it going to be the business and monetization end that is going to make the company the most money, either for shareholders or for the personally owned business themselves? And we see how successful it is with a lot of these mobile games, and I'm sure game development studios that are more focused on PC and console games are going to be looking at this and wondering why they can't be making that revenue as well. So a lot of context here, I apologize for that, but now we can finally get into this new colorful event. And with this context, maybe see how this event is going to be impacting the future monetization of World of Warships. Before we do though, make sure you check out the links in the description. Go watch some of these videos if you're interested in a more detailed look at how game developers are designing their games to monetize and get the most money out of you possible. There's some pretty good resources there, and there's several more on the internet, but these are just a couple that I have found in researching this topic very briefly, I would say. I haven't gone too far down the rabbit hole yet, but there's a lot there already. So with this event, a helpful way to look at it is to compare it to the Black Friday ships. This colorful event is essentially a similar idea, except we're taking a clone of a tech tree ship, not a premium ship. The idea here being you'll get the North Carolina, the Roon, or the Kleber as a premium, and this comes with some benefits. At tier 8 and 9, you'll of course get premium credit income. That'll be really nice. At tier 10, more of a special ship. That's kind of the difference there. That's why tier 9 premiums tend to out-earn tier 10 special ships. Those special ships don't actually get that bonus on credits. So Kleber won't be quite as good for credit income, but it is a Kleber after all. And that comes with an advantage here of moving a commander back and forth to these ships whenever you want to without any penalty. You don't have to play Doubloons or even Elite Commander XP, which is pretty nice. The other thing that might be nice here is the alternate setup idea. I'm not sure if that's really something you're interested in with these specific ships, but if you wanted to run an alternate build and you already had the tech tree ship, then I guess this will help you out. But other than that, they are exactly the same. So however you feel about the North Carolina, the Roon, or the Kleber, that's the exact ship you're going to be getting here. There's nothing else changed gameplay-wise. As for when this event starts, June 9th, you will have the option to start some combat missions. And with these combat missions, you'll be able to earn up to 75 tokens towards this new event. June 16th, that's when the actual sale of these ships will start. The Kleber will be 690 tokens, the Roon will be 380 tokens, the North Carolina being 250 tokens. And the way you're going to get the rest of these tokens to earn, or more realistically buy these ships, is through random containers at 1,000 doubloons each. There will be 3 discounted containers for 500 doubloons each, only get 3 of those, 2 containers for 125,000 free XP each, and 2 coal containers for 20,000 coal each. And the token drop rate in those containers is going to be 10 tokens, 75% of the time, 20 tokens, 24.5% of the time, and 200 tokens, 0.5% of the time. So very, very unlikely. Well, what does that mean for the average cost? Since these are going to be random, you're not guaranteed these prices, obscuring the actual cost of these ships. You can kind of see some of this preamble coming into effect here. there's no guarantee that you're going to get an average outcome or average rolls on the amount of tokens you're going to get. So with these calculations, we have a few assumptions. You're getting all 75 tokens from these free missions. You're going to get all the free XP and coal containers. You're never going to get a 200 token container. That of course will reduce the price quite a bit, but that's pretty unlikely, let's be honest. And of course, this also assumes you're going to use all of these discounted tokens or earned tokens for not real money into that single ship. There is no redo on the 75 tokens from the free missions. Your coal and free XP containers do not reset. So keep that in mind. If your goal is to get multiple of these ships, the price will be more than what these individual values look like. So for the Kleber, 44,000 doubloons on average, including all of the extra setup here, in which does include some grinding. There's some missions here that you're going to have to complete to get the discounted price of 44,000 doubloons. For a tech tree ship, by the way. And Roon now, 20,000 doubloons on average. Okay, NC, 12,000 doubloons on average. So looking a little more reasonable. It's pretty standard, I would say. Tier 8 battleship doubloon value for the most part. Keep in mind though, well, Black Friday does exist and there's some good discounts to be had. It's where having this compared to Black Friday is a good thing in more than one way. Not only are these clones of existing ships, but also the prices are just the opposite. You're paying more. You're paying more in this event, and whereas Black Friday, the idea is a discount. So there we go. So not only is this colorful event raising the ceiling on the economy for World of Warships, the premium in-game resources and doubloon cost of different items in the game, it is also using this obscuring the actual monetary value tactic by forcing you to use multiple different resources that you have to convert in between, alongside a little bit of sunk cost fallacy through the use of getting you 75 tokens for missions and giving you a reduced cost on some of those early containers. So we should take a look at a little bit of context. For example, if you don't already know how expensive this is. 50,000 doubloons is $250 Canadian, around 190 US dollars. I am Canadian, so when I load up the store, that is what the prices are going to be in. 25,000 doubloons is going to be $125 Canadian, around 95 US dollars. 12,500 doubloons is going to be $63 Canadian, around 47 US dollars. And why don't we compare this to the original Puerto Rico? You guys remember how mad everyone was surrounding that one? Well, that was a 230 US dollar ship when you purchased it outright. This is not very far off from that now, is it? But why don't we continue? Black Friday was a pretty good event, wasn't it? There's typically some pretty good discounts here. Well, we've got some tier 10s, we got some tier 9s, we got some tier 8s that have been for sale multiple years now. Let's start with Napoli. 34,950 doubloons normally, no discount. That's what the cost was when it was available in the premium shop. On Black Friday, that went down all the way to 29,650 doubloons. And that means the Kleber here, on average, is 25% more than the base Napoli price and 48% more than the Black Friday Napoli price. Yoshino, also the same cost. 48% more than the Black Friday Yoshino. Keep in mind, this is not a premium ship that you're going to be getting. The idea behind the Black Friday ships and why they're such a great deal, in my opinion, is that not only you're getting a good premium ship to earn credits from, the colorful event could have looked like that as well, you're also getting a unique experience. That's the other cool thing about the premium ships, for the most part in this game, is they're going to give you a different experience than you could otherwise get by playing the game for free, or mainly for free by just getting premium time and grinding your way to these tier 10s. This is just a copy of a Kleber, a copy of a Roon. It's the same playstyle you're going to get for much cheaper, or even free if you have the time to grind. But let's move on. Why don't we look at some tier 9s? Maybe looking a little more reasonable. John Bart, 19,500 doubloons. Palmer, 19,300. Kearsarge also in that range. Their sale price of Black Friday, 16,550, 16,350. So the Roon is only 3 to 4% more on average in this event than the base price of a tier 9 premium. Not bad. And it's a cruiser. Sometimes the prices differ, where battleships are a little more at the tier, cruisers a little less, GDs a little bit less. So I think that's probably more reasonable. But then we look at the Black Friday event. And I get you're not going to sell things at a massive discount like that all the time. But hey, Black Friday ships is a great comparison for this event. And we may as well continue. 22% more money for the tier 9 Roon here than the tier 9 ships in the Black Friday catalog. Moving on to tier 8. The mines, the Chkalov, 11,300, 12,300, so around that 12,000 doubloons normally. So pretty standard cost, I would say, for this NC at tier 8. Alabama, again, in that range, very similar playstyle, and that one you can buy outright, where this is a little bit more of a gamble. It's got those mobile game tactics of obscuring the value, random drop rates, multiple currencies. I think Alabama, if you're interested in this premium NC, just go get the Alabama. I think that's going to be a much better way to go forward. Of course, looking at the Black Friday event, yeah, 53% more for this NC than the Black Friday mines, and 40% more than the Black Friday Chkalov. There's several more examples, of course, Black Friday being one of the better events here. But yeah, that is a very expensive event. This will be going on for 2 weeks, and it's unlikely to come back until next year at the earliest, around this same time. And if it's successful, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some other ships that are tech tree ships pulled over here and sent to the moon in terms of their pricing. So there we go. There is the colorful event, a ceiling raiser using a lot of different tricky tactics that mobile games love to use. And it makes sense, we're in a free-to-play game, that they would be using tactics like this. But let's take a look at the actual cost of this free-to-play game. Premium time, if you buy 360 days of it, it's around $120 Canadian, which works out to $10 a month. Battle Pass, you're gonna just do the regular one, that's another $13 a month Canadian. If you're going for the premium Battle Pass, that's gonna be another $37.50 doubloons, which will be around another $19 or $20 a month Canadian, depending on, of course, which doubloon bundle you go with. And that isn't all. We have a dockyard every once in a while too, which honestly is like a battle pass. Why did we have a dockyard and a battle pass? It's like 2 battle passes. I don't get it. Did someone just say, oh, the dockyard's not called a battle pass, we can milk more money out of the player base if we just add a battle pass now? It's just crazy. Anyways, dockyard for 5 phases, typically 5,500 doubloons if you buy it early. Again, sunk cost in it's crazy. I'm tripping over myself. It's crazy. But 5,500 doubloons, another $28 Canadian a dockyard. We have around 3 of those a year, which works out to another $7 a month Canadian. So, to have premium time, the full premium battle pass, and the dockyard every time, you're going to be paying $55 a month Canadian, or $41 a month in the US. And that doesn't even include early access for every single new line. That doesn't include special events. Colorful, Popeye, Warhammer 40K, Hololive, Inca, Golden Week, Star, Hot Tub, Brisbane Kelly event, Lunar New Year, Santa Gift, Hampshire, Black Friday, and so on and so on and so on. This game is expensive, man, and this event takes it just to a whole new level. And this is just for an experience we've already had. It's not even like this is a new experience. We've had this for years at this point. These are some of the oldest ships in the game. Not necessarily Kleber, but NC, it's been around forever. The Roon, almost forever. We've had these experiences, and they're the most expensive thing. Oh my goodness, it's insane. And that also includes you have to grind for this. 44,000 doubloons for the Kleber, includes grinding some of these missions and using free XP and coal. Just for a tier 10. It's crazy. So, I need to mention, as a CC, I get all of this for free. It's actually been very interesting making this video. It's taken me a little bit longer, and it's shown me just how much I get for free for being a CC here for this game. And keep that in mind. Anytime you're looking at my account or how much stuff I have, all the resources, I'm getting probably the equivalent of $100 to $150 a month for free from Wargaming onto my account. That would include all of these events. It's around $55 a month just for Premium Time, Battle Pass, and Dockyard. And that doesn't include all of these events, which of course we're going to stack a ton more money onto it. So keep that in mind, and I will also continue to try and keep that in mind when I'm recommending ships or reviewing things or talking about if a ship is worth getting or not in this game. It's very, very expensive, and the value is typically pretty low on a lot of these events relative to something like Premium Time. That's always been and will continue to be the best value in World of Warships. It's going to get you to tier 10 relatively quickly, it's going to sustain your economy up at tier 10 and super ships, and it's going to offer you the most diverse experience. You don't need to play one ship to grind credits when you have Premium Time. You do have to do that when you buy only one ship as a premium. So Premium Time, if you're going to play the game a lot, is going to be the best value. And these events are often pretty expensive and don't offer nearly as much value as that Premium Time otherwise would. And even by WoW standards, I would say this colorful event is one of the lowest value events that we've ever seen. And let's keep in mind, the price shouldn't just be compared to other things in this game. What about things like Xbox Game Pass, $12 a month Canadian, PlayStation Plus Extra, $10 a month Canadian? That is a ton of free-to-play games. Of course, you're paying monthly to get access to them, so not exactly free, but for $12 or $10 a month, there are hundreds of unique gaming experiences to be had, where this is just, I can't get over Kleber, which is a tech tree ship we've had forever, is 44,000 doubloons for the same experience that you can get for, let's say, $30. It takes you 3 months to grind to the Kleber. Right? Like, we've had it forever. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's continue. Netflix, $17 a month Canadian. Spotify, $10 a month Canadian. Disney Plus, another $10 a month. Everything wants your money. And I don't think this event is worth it. It's just, it's too much. And you don't get nearly enough out of it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have I made any mistakes in my math or anything like that? Again, feel free to correct me. I might have done something wrong. I'm no mathematician or statistician or anything like that, so I could be getting some stuff wrong here, but this is my perspective on this event, and certainly not very positive. But we haven't actually talked about the ships yet. I've been pretty hard on the actual cost of this event, but what are the ships like? Well, since they are just carbon copies of tech tree ships, I can tell you, Kleber is an awesome gunboat DD. The saturation mechanics mitigate a lot of the need for a heal and a smoke. It's so fast, it's very good at dodging, flanking, farming battleships, and the instant you get into a DD fight, you just pop your reload booster and you have way better DPM than most of the DDs in the game, and that is combined with, of course, good shell velocity. It's a very strong ship. The torps can be very good at YOLOing as well. It's a very, very strong ship. I think Kleber is one of the more fun and enjoyable ships in the game. It does offer a very unique experience, and you can get it without spending 44,000 doubloons. Roon is alright, I think, with that German cruiser line. Roon is great. It's where the line starts to get really good. You finally get a heal. Get more guns, much more reliable at range, and, well, Hindenburg is just better. We did a Hindenburg video very recently. Clausewitz is a pretty strong super ship. I find that one very good in its armor. Hindenburg, a little bit worse in armor these days, certainly. Roon, too. That one has 27 mil everywhere. But it's a decent ship. But honestly, Roon is not why you're playing the German cruiser line. It's a nice breath of fresh air after the Hipper, but you're playing it to get to the Hindenburg and the Clausewitz. So overall, really can't say I would go for the Roon if you're doing any of these, just because it's not very high on my list on that German cruiser line. North Carolina is an excellent battleship. It's one of my favorites all time in this game. Really taught me a lot on how to play battleships in the early days. And it's getting a small Sigma buff soon, 0.5 Sigma added onto it. So I'll probably play it on the channel some more once we see that. But just get the Alabama, man. You know the upfront cost. There's none of this bullshit surrounding different currencies and that. You can just buy it outright. If you decide it's worth it, just buy it for 60 bucks Canadian. I don't know. I always prefer knowing that price upfront and just buying it. That's kind of how I view things. I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but this event is just so depressing, man. It's just so sad. The ships are decent, but they're tech tree. It's tech tree, man. Like, oh, well, that's going to be it. This is a pretty long video. Thank you for watching through it. Check out the links in the description. There's a very fun or depressing rabbit hole that you can go down when it comes to how monetization is going in video games these days. And it's going to continue. Horse armor was not the end of crazy monetization. We're only getting started. I think the 2020s here is going to be ridiculous in terms of monetization in games. And I hope we just still have a fun game to play underneath it all. And that for those who don't or can't spend that money, they can still access that fun and enjoyable side of the game. So again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your support, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.